California's Central Valley is home to some of the fastest growing cities in the entire United States, mostly because of its proximity to major destinations, as well as its affordability compared to the rest of California. So today I'm going to list 5 of the fastest growing cities and towns throughout California's Central Valley and list out some of the reasons as to why they're so popular and why people are migrating here. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know all there is to living in the Central Valley of California, make sure you tap that bell for notifications and hit the subscribe button below so you can be the first one updated. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a realtor based out of Turlock, California, and I get calls from people just like you every single day looking to make a move to the Central Valley. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, or book a Zoom call with me, and I'd be happy to walk you through the process. Now we're going to go in reverse order, so make sure you stick around for number 1, which is one of the fastest growing cities in the entire United States. But first, at number 5, we're going to start with Madera, California. Madera is just north of Fresno, about 20 miles or so. It takes about 30 minutes or so to get there, depending on traffic. So it's definitely located next to a major hub. But looking at its growth, Madera has significantly grown in the past few years. In 2020, their population was around 66,000, and in 2023 has increased to 68,000. That's a 2.7% increase in the past 3 years alone. Now, I don't have updated information for 2025's population, of course, yet, but I'm sure it's still growing as well, too. Now, that is significant growth for a smaller Central Valley town and community. Now, there are a lot of reasons why people are wanting to move to Madera, and affordability is honestly one of the number 1 reasons, I would say. Now, the median home price in Madera is around $380,000, which is significantly lower than its counterparts in the Bay Area or Southern California. So this is a huge dramatic difference, and a lot of people don't even think of California having these lower home prices compared to some of those areas. Now, the median rent is also around $1,700 a month, once again being substantially lower than a lot of other places in California. Now, affordability is probably the number 1 reason why people are moving to Madera. If you're a family, on average, you need about $5,600 a month to be financially stable and able to afford all the things for your family. This comes from bestplaces.com, by the way. And if you're a single person, you need about $3,200 a month to be comfortable. Now, as a single person needing $3,200 a month, that is 32.9% less expensive than the national average. And the entire cost of living overall in Madera is about 30% lower than the rest of California's average. So that is a huge difference between those, and you can see why a lot of people would choose to live here. Now, Madera also has a fairly convenient location. As I mentioned, it's about 20 miles north of Fresno, and Fresno is the biggest city in the entire Central Valley. Now, being that it's such a huge city and the biggest one in the Central Valley, this gives Madera residents huge opportunities in terms of jobs and just different things to do, nightlife, just more fun in general being closer to a bigger city like that, whereas a lot of other cities in the Central Valley aren't necessarily as close to such a major hub and city. It's also located right off the 99 freeway, so it's very convenient for commuting, as well as if you want to take a trip, whether you're going north or south, you just hop on that freeway and it takes you either way. Now, coming in at number 4 is Tracy, California. The 2020 population in Tracy was around 93,000, and in 2023, it jumped all the way up to 98,000. So that's a 5.3% increase in just 3 years alone. We're probably close to that 100,000 mark by now, honestly. I'm curious to see what those numbers are once they come out at the end of the year. Now, in terms of housing, the median home price is about $647,000, and the monthly average rent is around $2,500. Now, this is not as affordable compared to the rest of the Central Valley and some of its counterparts, but because of its location and proximity to the Bay Area, it causes a lot of people from the Bay to move there, and it has driven up home prices. It's kind of becoming, the closer new Bay Area is what we're calling it here in the Central Valley. But there alone, there has been so many new build communities it's astounding. Now, I also actually did a full video on the Tracy Hills Master Plan community, so definitely check that out because there are some gorgeous homes there with so many different floor plans and style of homes. And that's located right off the freeway as well too, so it's super commuter friendly. Now, Tracy is definitely one of the most prime locations if you are a commuter and you go to the Bay Area frequently. It actually, if you look on a map, looks like a triangle, and it's surrounded by the 5, the 205, and the 580 freeways. So no matter where you're at in town, it's super easy and quick to hop on a freeway and head towards the Bay. Or even if you're going on a trip to Southern California, you can just get on those freeways, the 5 there as well, and take that all the way down to San Diego. So it goes pretty far. It's super convenient, and I would say a good majority of people that live in Tracy live there because they are a commuter. Now, a lot of people that have children in Tracy also enjoy it because it has pretty good schools. Niche.com has given it overall rating of B-, and there are just a ton of options there that have A ratings as well. And lastly, I think a huge motivation for people moving to Tracy is because there is just a thriving and growing job market and so many job opportunities within Tracy itself. So some big companies like Amazon, Safeway, Medline, FedEx, Costco, all of these companies have moved into Tracy because it is such a prime location for commuting, and they've set up their distribution centers here. So it has created hundreds and hundreds of jobs within Tracy itself, which is a huge bonus for the Central Valley and a major player. Now, as I mentioned as well too, it's centrally located and right by the freeway. So if you do commute to the Bay, you can easily get there as well. Now, coming in at number 3 for one of the fastest growing cities in the Central Valley is Merced, California. In 2020, the population was about 86,300, and 3 years later in 2023, it jumped up to 93,700. That is an 8.5% increase in only 3 years. Now, I think affordability, kind of like in Madera, plays a huge role in why so many people are attracted to Merced. In terms of housing, the median home price is about $422,000, and average rent per month is about $1,700. Now, in terms of cost of living, if you're a family, according to bestplaces.com, you need about $5,900 a month to be comfortable, and if you are a single individual, then about $3,500 a month will cause you to be comfortable. Now, here in Merced, the overall cost of living is 27% lower than the average California cost of living. So that is a huge difference from different areas such as the Bay Area and Southern California. Also, one of the biggest reasons why Merced has been growing is because of UC Merced. Now, UC stands for University of California. There are 10 UCs in all of California, and Merced is the youngest one, being created in 2005. Now, opening and creating this UC has caused so many job opportunities, and has also caused, with an influx of people coming in, so many new developments and houses being built as well too. So in between 2016 to 2020, there was a $1.2 million funded project that was worked through 3 phases to build on and add new buildings to UC Merced. So just to give you an example of some of the buildings, a new soccer field and complex was added, about 1,700 on-campus student residential beds and housings was created as well too, different student life facilities, academic research spaces, and the list goes on. That's just to give you some examples. So in 4 years, they did this entire project, which is insane and super impressive. And in total, it added about 13 facilities to UC Merced, and they're still growing. I mean, I remember seeing when UC Merced was first getting started versus now, it has easily at least doubled in size. So that gives us a ton of opportunities as a community. And even just from the construction alone, from 2016 to 2020, it added about $510 million to the regional economy through construction costs alone. Now, it's also expected that up until 2030 or so, it's going to add $696 million to the economy here, just from construction, account staffing, bringing people in, students, residents, everything, which is huge. Merced was desperately in need of something like this, and UC Merced has definitely pushed Merced to grow in such a positive way. Now, coming in at number 2 is Manteca. In 2020, the population was around 83,500, and in 2023, it jumped up to 91,000. That is a 9.1% increase in population growth in just 3 years alone. Now, in terms of housing, the median house price is about $605,000, and the median rent is $2,500. There are so many new build homes being built and a lot of new construction, which is also bringing more jobs and opportunities and just places for people to live when they're moving here. Now, you'll notice that in terms of affordability, it's not as low as somewhere as Merced or Madera, but it's attracting a lot of people because, again, it's proximity to the bay, it's convenient location. It's super easy to commute to the bay, to Sacramento. If you need to go to Fresno, it's kind of centrally located, and it's a really popular reason people live there. Now, Manteca has also become pretty popular because of the things to do there. A lot of people don't think of Manteca as, a major hub to go do stuff at, but the city itself has actually stated that they're trying really hard to bring more activities and family-friendly activities as well too. So not only for the residents, but so people from surrounding communities come and visit. There's about 68 parks in Manteca alone, with about 50 of them hosting either playgrounds or areas for competitive activities for kids and adults. And they also have a lot of other fun activities, whether you are a family or older as well too. So they do have the Great Wolf Lodge in Manteca, which is a hotel, but also an indoor water park, which is really unique to our area. We don't have a lot of water parks besides, I think you have to drive to Fresno or so. So that's a great opportunity, especially in the winter when it gets colder, you can use it year round. There's also Bass Pro Shop, which a lot of people like to go visit. It's a really big one. I don't know what ranking it is in terms of size, but that one's always a lot of fun to walk through. And then in the fall, there is Del Oso Family Farms. Now, Del Oso has significantly grown over the years. It started as a pumpkin patch, but now it's pumpkin patch. There's corn mazes every year, usually something intricate and a complex design. They have haunted houses. They have different types of slides and activities for kids, and it's overall just a great time. So Manteca is really pushing for more activities for residents, for people to come visit. And I myself, even being in Turlock area, do go to Manteca for things like that, especially when I'm taking younger family members with me as well too. Now, the one you've finally been waiting for, the #1 fastest growing Central Valley city is Lathrop. Not only is it fastest growing here in Central Valley, it's the #1 fastest growing city in all of California and the 5th fastest growing city in the entire United States, right here in our own backyard of the Central Valley. So in 2020, the population was about 28,000. 2023, the population went up to 39,000. That's about a 39% increase in population in 3 years alone. And I believe I read too, I don't know the exact number for 2024, but there was another 5% increase from 2023 to 2024. So we are just having so many new people moving here, and it's so great to see this smaller Central Valley town becoming its own city and getting the recognition that it deserves. Now, in terms of housing, the median home price is around $660,000, and the median rent price is about $2,800 a month. Now, something really interesting and neat about Lathrop is about 83% of the homes here are owner occupied. That is a huge number. So not that many renters. A lot of people actually own their own home in Lathrop, showing that there is opportunity there. And it's been easier to get into towns in the Central Valley to buy a home versus the Bay. Some really big employers have also come into Lathrop, such as Tesla, Swift Transportation, and Pratt Industries. So that has promoted job growth and people moving here as well too. Now, it also scores pretty high on good for families, according to niche.com, with a B-. There's the Stanford Crossing, which has several newly built public parks, beautiful greenery, places to picnic. There's also the San Joaquin River that runs through, so it's a great place if you want to go swimming, enjoy picnicking, boating, things like that for families as well too. So that's a pretty good rating according to niche.com, and the overall rating of everything, not just for families, is also a B-. So that's a pretty high rating, showing why people are wanting to live here. Now, one last thing that I find super interesting about Lathrop is it was not even an incorporated city or community until 1989. So it hasn't even been a city all that long, and the amount of growth that it has is absolutely insane and really cool to see. So even I was actually shocked by some of these results and these fastest growing cities in the Valley, but I would love to know your thoughts and if you were surprised. So drop them in the comments below. And if you have any questions, I personally respond to all of them. Again, I'm Alex, and if you do have any questions about moving to the Central Valley, feel free to reach out to me. I get calls from people just like you every single day that are either moving across the nation or just from across town. want to come here to the Valley and just have questions about the general buying process. So feel free to book a Zoom call with me, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, and we can schedule time to go over what it's like moving here to the Valley and what life will look like for you here.